Hey, I'm Susan Palmer of Lead Cat Press. This is my weekly studio update. That was Silent Night. That was a little bit different than the video that I posted several years ago, which I'll put a little link to. I originally posted this when I was teaching at Seattle U, and I had a group class, and I wanted to make sure that I could teach something so that everybody in the class could play it. So the arrangement that I set up uses a lot of open chords, and I really tried to just use fingerings that were accessible for everybody in the class. The version that I just played was slightly different than that version. So I would like you, if possible, to download the free PDF on my website. There'll be a link in the description box here. And I'd like you to take a look at that, and then we can kind of work through. I had some just minor adjustments to that on the version that I just played. So I thought I'd go over that with you today. Apart from that, I wanted to say how sad I was when we learned that Barry Harris passed this week. He lived so long. I had thought that he was going to live forever. And he's no longer with us, but his educational material is out there, and it's in the hands of all of us other musicians that are trying to do our best with what he taught us. So I posted the video last week of some Barry Harris ideas, and it just felt I don't know. It hurt when he passed away, but he led a very full life, and I admire how he taught so much throughout his entire life. So just a moment for Barry Harris there and everybody he's affected. Also this week in my studio, I changed my strings. I don't do that terribly often. Usually it's every 6 months or so. And I changed from I used to play Chromes, and great brand of strings, and I switched to Tomastics, which somebody turned me on to, and I love them. They play so smooth, and so I'm really enjoying having some new strings on here. I'll put a link below for you if you are interested in seeing the kind of strings that I'm playing on these days. My video that I posted several years ago on Silent Night, it has about 18,000 views, I think, so I'm not going to redo that. That's why I wanted to kind of add something new to what we've already got. So if you're looking at the PDF, I start off kind of the same. But then when I get up to the second line, instead of just playing, I have an E9 on the original. I'm now playing a B minor 7. So I'm adding a 2 chord to that 5 chord there, if you know what I mean. So I've got a B minor 7 there. And then for the E7 with the G sharp on top, I'm now playing an A string root for that rather than what's on the page there, which is a D string root. Both obviously work. This one, I find it easier to play when you're coming from that B minor 7 there. So that's why I changed that up. The E7 here was not a chord that some of my students were able to play, but I knew that they could play this one. So that's why on the original PDF, just have that version for that E7. I played this A major right up here. That stayed the same. For the D chords, those stayed the same, except right here, I added some thirds. So I like that little harmonized melodic descent there. So from that D major chord, I'm playing E and G sharp, and then D and F sharp, and then back to that the A chord there. And same thing on the line 4. Here I went to the B minor 7 again, and I'm just playing that B minor 7 with my first finger, just straight across. You could play it this way, but I find it harder to get that root note in there and that high B, and we really just need one B, so I'm using my first finger just straight across those top 4 strings there. And then instead of just the E7, the original version I had this time I'm playing E7 flat 9, and then I play that again, but this time with the B as the highest note. then with G sharp as the highest note. Diminished chords are kind of cool things. These are all the same chord. They contain the same 4 notes, and they're all separated by a minor third. So I can move this whole chord in minor thirds, and it gives me that diminished sound. And it's just a little story here. It reminds me of when I was taking guitar lessons. One of my most helpful teachers, Paul Chasman, when he was explaining these diminished chords to me, he drew a little cartoon of a cartoon character kind of going around in an infinity roadway there. And that's how he explained those diminished chords. And I've always thought of them as kind of cartoonish. So, there's a lot to the diminished chords, but there's one instance of application where we can use them and just harmonize that whole line down. That part just stayed the same. And I think I got the same thing on the ending there as well. I just played a little sloppy there, but I think my performance version was a bit better. So you can link to the PDF that will give you the original version. And also I have the original video up there if you want to see what I look like many years ago. I have the same haircut, I think. Different sweatshirt, but I tried to keep with the red there. And something else I'm going to throw below is just a link to some of my favorite products, like guitar gift ideas and stuff. One reason is because I think they're great things for guitar players to have. The other reason is that it's linked up to my Amazon store. So always support small businesses whenever you can. But if you do order on Amazon, if you click on any of the links, you can order anything, and a little portion of that will come back to my studio. And that helps support my scholarship fund and just taking care of business, new strings, stuff like that. So really appreciate it when people can use those links down there. That really helps me out and helps me make more videos and PDFs and all that stuff, which I seem to be on a kick on these days. I think that's about it for this week. I hope you guys have a good one. Hope that little mini lesson was helpful. I'll be back next week, and take care and be safe.